Hey guys, we have a Semogue Owners Club, and this is the Taj handle boar brush. It's been soaking for several minutes. Put it back in the water there. The soap we're going to use is a Tiki bar brand from Grumatorium. Grumatorium's the same folks who make the Stubble Buster, kind of an entry-level budget type soap, but it's great performance. Scents are a little bit weak to help people who might have sensitivities. It's an entry-level kind of thing. But they make Chiseled face as well. I like that soap brand because it's got reasonable performance but amazing scents. Very masculine, creative, fun scents. Spice Islands is a kind of a sweet scent that I really like. The Nacet, bent it the last time I used it. It seems to be okay though. That means 226 is the current count. So this is shave number 227. And we're going to put the blade in this vintage razor. It is a Gillette single ring. In the early 1900s, these guys came out. This patent marking says 1904. So I'm referring to this as my 1904 single ring. I need to do some more research to find out exactly how much I can know about this particular model. It does have the knob that comes loose there, and then you can see how in the middle of the handle where you can't visually see it, it's doing this. It's holding everything together like that. And the base plate here is permanently affixed to the handle. Many of these have cracks just like this. And in some cases, they're stable cracks. You don't have anything to worry about as long as you don't go nuts on the razor. Some people use epoxy and things like that to make everything permanent. Now, some of the single ring models will have a serial number on the top of the base plate there. This one doesn't, so that also tells me something. Someday I'll do some research about it. I like the color of this one. It's this wonderful dark, almost like a patina or something. And I love the color of it. The blade, show it to you. There's the, right above where the X is the damage. You can see the tweaked edge there. The corner of it is kind of bent and stuff. I had it in a top cap, just like this. And I was showing it to the camera, and then it just fell off of my hands. I think my skin was kind of dry. And I think it would have been undamaged if the blade would have fallen to the floor without being connected to the top cap. But oh well. That was at the beginning of the shave yesterday, and it kept going just fine. So let's see how it does today. Now I have discovered that the flatter trajectory, the flatter geometry doesn't do as good with these older blades. Let's see if it holds true with this one. We definitely have very nice support right up under the edge of the blade, unlike many of the DE89 style razors that don't. So let's give it a try today. I just wanted to run through a few of my razors that I haven't tried yet with this old blade. Pineapple, mango, those are kind of the scents that I get. Just a nice, enjoyable, sweet, tropical, type scent. Nothing musky or, anything like that. Nothing super mature, just tropical and fruity and fun. And that's what I'm in the mood for. I've had this in my to try bin for a little while. It's about time to do it. And also I'm going to load a little excessively because this is a young boar brush. It's only got like 6 uses on it. I like the Taj handle. I like the weight. It seems to be a little bit bigger than the wooden handle, I think I like it a lot. It looks fabulous. Let's do a 45-second load, which is strange. Okay, we're going to start at the 5-second mark, so we'll go to the 50-second mark. But like I said, this is a young boar, and so let's just make tons of lather so that if it kind of kills the lather, which is typical for young boars, then we'll have excess. That's just what boars do, and it can be very frustrating if you don't know that when you are working with your first boar brush, like I did a few years ago. I had a Semogue 830, got great Amazon reviews, and I just couldn't believe how crappy it was shaving because it was just young and it hadn't broken in yet. 3 more seconds. And there we go. And we have tons. This is the kind of good stuff that was overflowing there. Tons of good lather with this one. You rinse the tub off. Nice strength of scent coming up from the loaded tub right now. This is a good story scent if you like to maybe use products that take your nose on a process, on a story, take your brain with you. "24 hours of growth," cold water, hard water. Dollar Tree, Santa Fe style, Norfolk pottery or Norfolk something. I'm enjoying using it. It's got these bevels at the bottom, and so there's actually not a very large level patch of real estate at the bottom of the bowl. It curves up, and so that makes this, any kind of left-right movement like this, it makes it very bendy with the bristles, and that in turn is going to activate and agitate that lather nicely. So I think the name of this scent is almost a misnomer unless it's just such an old soap that some of the spicy notes have evaporated. 1 teaspoon in the mix. Tired, time to go to bed. A commenter in a recent video asked me, I think it was either Taylor or Tom, I think somebody who started with a T, the name started with a T, asked me if I'd make a video about fixing a knot onto a handle. I said, sure. The last shave actually was using that dogwood brush that had a Sinbad knot on it. And I was giving the knot a chance by using it yesterday, and it went the same route as most of the synthetics, where it just poked me, shoved my skin around a little bit too much. Tips were just amazingly soft, but the backbone behind the tips, like 7-8 millimeters away from the tip, it starts to firm up. And all the synthetics are pretty much like that, almost all of them. So I yanked this Sinbad knot out, and I will replace it. I believe the knot I'm liking for that one is a silver tip from the Golden Nib, the premium grade. I really like that knot a lot. I already have it in one handle, and so what I may do is I like that dogwood brush a lot, and so maybe what I'll do is, sell the other handle or something like that. Sell the other brush. Because this is I think my other one's a 22. So I'm interested in contrasting because this is a 26. So a couple extra millimeters on either side. I'm interested to see what that does to the knot backbone and just the general shaving experience with it. And then I could decide which one to keep, you know, that sort of thing. That one, I was able to scrape a lot of the silicone out of the socket. You know, you have to prepare. You have to prepare the knot by making sure the base of it is clean of any of the previous adhesive that might have been on it. You also have to prepare the socket. Get rid of extra dry glue, things like that. And I was able to get rid of a lot of the silicone that was used with it, except for there's a real hard chunk in the middle that's being a little stubborn, and so I'm going to have to get my Dremel with a little tool out to grind that away. It won't take very long at all. But in the meanwhile, I have another knot that I ordered from the Golden Nib with that same order of the silver tip. Is the 2-band from the Golden Nib. I've used one of those once before, and I really enjoyed it. And so, but then I sold that brush because it was in a handle that didn't work with my hands. And so, but I made a mental note: get a finest badger knot from the Golden Nib because they're good. And so, there's a little something that's almost like a sweet blossom. It's almost floral, but it's more sweet, and so it's not like a feminine floral. And I'm starting to smell that a little bit, along with the fruitiness that now that I'm getting it wet and getting it in lather form. So let's show you how the lather is shaping up. Look at that! Look how fluid it is. All right, let's use that. That looks pretty good. I think that's pretty good. And it looks like we've got plenty of it in case the brush decides to eat some. Now I'm douse my face with a little bit of water. All right. Goatee actually is, hairs are getting long enough where they are holding some water, so I do have to be careful. I need to give myself a little trim so I don't have to worry about that. Thor Shaves is a YouTuber. He's got a big old long goatee that he has to work around. It's super long. He has to like lift it up, you know. Nice guy, it seems like. Watched a few of his videos, communicated with him in the comments of some of my own videos. Seems like a really nice guy. He's a face latherer, and he likes to load kind of heavy, and he likes his a little on the drier side than I do. He likes synthetics, and so if some of those techniques appeal to you, go over and check out his channel. Chris from Another Cut Above is another one who likes it a little drier than me, and I think he likes synthetics as well. Now he's been around for a while. He's got a lot of subscribers, so Thor, I think, is just getting started. Now, right now, you saw how that lather behaved in the bowl. It was just falling all over itself. But right now it almost looks like I need to add some more water. I don't think I do, but it almost looks like it. See, look at you see those little layers, the little ridges? That makes me think it could possibly use some more water. Let's just shave with it anyway and see. Nah, I'm gonna put some more water in it. It just feels like it needs it. I mean, it would probably do a pretty good shave if I didn't, but I think I'm going to be able to see it get creamy and awesome by doing this. Okay, so that's 2 teaspoons. Wait a minute, I think I already did 2. So that would be 4. The wood handle seems to offer a little bit more grip when wet. This Taj handle is a lot more slippery. Oh, that lather is changing. You can feel it, probably even see it getting more creamy, slicker. It'll protect better. You can do the painting motion here and add water by putting, a few drops on the side of the brush, like that. You can also do see, look, we're getting we're building more lather and we're getting the excess coming out the side of the brush. You can put it in the kind of the open hole in the center of the brush, center of the knot, and I like to tilt my head over so that the bristles are pointed down and gravity keeps the water in the knot instead of letting it drip out the back of the handle. Yeah, see, look at that. I've got excess lather going on here. This is a nice soap. For it to look that hydrated in the bowl and then still need water. That's nice. Let's just go ahead and shave with this. It's not quite where I want it, but I'm going to go ahead and shoot the rest of the teaspoon in there. So that's, I think, 6 teaspoons now. And so then what we can do, and it probably actually needs more than that, but so the brush handle is very slippery. I'm having to really grab it by a bunch of different grips to try to keep control of it. So I'm going to run some water over it. Some people say you can use alum to hold on to wet things while you're shaving, but I just don't keep my alum hand anymore because I don't need it. I don't use it for diagnostic purposes. Yeah, I can generally tell by the stinging of the aftershave splash or even just cold water. I can tell how I did with my shave. There we go. We'll try that out in a little while. For the second pass. Okay. So how is this single ring going to do with a really old blade? It's an old razor with an old blade. It's really quite good. It's mowing through the hair with very little tugging. It's actually one of the better razors to use with this guy. How about that? So you see, trajectory is not the only thing to think about. When I said trajectory, I meant to say the geometry, that shallow blade curve that I told you about. Nice, wow. I still definitely get blade feel, but that's just because of the nature of the razor. These were created as some of the early double-edged razors, and so they were, what was happening back then, I believe, was that people were thinking about coming off of the straight razor, either going to the barber and getting their straight razor shave all the time, or having a straight razor at home and having to maintain it and hone it and all those things. This kind of razor is what people were stepping away from straights, coming to the convenience of this. So they kept some of the blade feel. I think maybe if they would have made it too smooth, guys would have been, what's wrong with this thing? It's supposed to feel like a razor. It's supposed to cut. It can't be smooth feeling, and so I think that, was part of it. Also, they call it a single ring because of this ring right here in this step area. There is a double ring, which has 2 stacked rings on top of each other. These are inexpensive. Got this one for pretty cheap, like 15 bucks or something. The double ring is a lot more rare. I think, I don't know. I think it might have been the early one, and so they moved away and maybe started making more of the single rings, and so I think it was manufactured for a shorter period of time, and so because of that scarcity, they fetch quite a high price. I don't have one. And rinse. Well, that may have been fairly comfy, but I'm kind of still feeling quite a bit of stubble. So it needs to be more effective. It might be comfortable, but it needs to step up the game in terms of the shave closeness. Yeah, just that wonderful fruity scent. Every once in a while I like that. Whether it's like the fruit, like the cherry, almond type scent from an Italian soap like Cella. I've just gotten informed that Cella, I think Cella is the way you're supposed to say it, with a CH, and somebody said drawing out the E a little bit is how the Italians say it. So tell me how I did, you Italian guys who are watching. I'm grateful for you correcting me on that. All right, so since that pass left a good bit of stubble. Now this is comfortable. I mean, I lightly feel the edge, but not really by much. This is a very comfortable way to shave. So we'll just have to make sure that we manage to make it be comfortable as well as efficient, as well as a good cutter. Now, surely that was able to knock down a good bit of the growth. Tell you what, folks, it's taking its own sweet time. It's just gradually reducing the growth. So while this may be comfortable with this razor blade in it, I think we're going to boot the single ring out of contention because of, well, I don't know. We'll see how it feels, because this is the third pass. And I don't know, if I get a good fourth pass, I actually might consider that a success. I mean, I like shaving. Why not do another pass? And it's comfortable and nice. Let's see if I can shave with the bent end. Okay, there it is right there. Let's see if I notice any difference. We'll go cross grain now. I think I might be able to tell you, if I spun it around randomly, I might be able to tell you which one is the bent side, but I might not. So that tells you that it's shaving reasonably well either way, if I'm not positive that I can figure it out. Fast, enjoyable. So let's do I was thinking about switching to another razor like I used yesterday, and using that to finish the shave off. But let's just see after 4 passes what this razor gives me. Face is getting smoother. Normally after that first pass, I'm actually feeling less stubble than I am right now after the third one, even with this old blade. So this razor is just very different in terms of geometry. Well, this board did not kill any lather, that's for sure. It's doing a great job with the lather. The lather looks terrific. Great smell. Great when you're in the summer. Brush feels nice too. It's very young, like I said, but it's very comfortable already. All right, here we go. Cross grain again. Now my guess would be that that feels like the blade side that's bent. Let's use the opposite side now. See if it feels smoother. It does. Let's see if I'm right after I'm done with this cheek over here. I'll have to rinse. All right, I'm going to keep my orientation. I believe that this side is the bent one. Yep, sure enough. Right there, you can see the change in the reflection probably. Okay, so I can feel the difference, but it's a very slight change in the feel of it. All right, so that I need to finish my pass. So with these razors and also with the Gillette News and the old types and stuff, they kind of wanted to give them some blade feel so that the guys knew it was working, knew they were being cut. It was I believe it was only later that they started focusing on trying to get smooth razors with very little blade feel. All right, well, I have plenty of lather still. If I wanted to do another pass, let's do a complete rinse, check things out. Yeah, that fourth pass took care of my cheeks nicely. Very happy, very close shave with that. But I definitely see a length in a good many tips in my neck area. Specifically this side where it's more trouble. So this razor does not meet the criteria. I was trying to unscrew it like a normal three-piece, but it's the old style three-piece where I need to unscrew the handle. I'm glad I didn't crank on it too hard. All right, so let us take the blade out. And I'm going to take the blade. There's that bent thing near the X. I'm going to take the razor I used yesterday and see if it can help me polish off the experience. So I want to put it with the kind of signature marks facing up right there. I've been doing that the whole life of this blade. I've never flipped it to the other side, so I think this is pretty good evidence to say that flipping the blade just doesn't make a difference. All right, and I've got plenty of lather to do a fifth pass. I'll just do a neck only. A little water on there. Lather feels good. Here, let's check it out. Get some from the bowl here. Here it is from the brush. It's pretty much the same in terms of consistency, so that's good. Nice, feathery. This is very well hydrated. I think you can probably see the sheen and the glisten on it. Contact slickness is pretty slick. It's a it's slick. It's not as good as some. There's not like that, slicker than snot feeling like you might get with some tallow soaps and Williams and Sterling and things like that. But it's holding the water really well, and the slickness is plenty to get the job done. Totally, plenty. Very enjoyable slick shave there. There's probably 5 passes in the bowl there. I just took a whole bunch out of the bowl to show you, and there's still at least another 1 or 2 passes left in the bowl. Okay, so I fanned it on already. So now let's see if this razor can pick up where the other one left off. And there we go. Be interesting to see how well that guy did. I can still hear a little bit of it as I take and here you don't have to reapply sometimes with the brush. If you're just doing a little touch-up area, just go and get it with your fingers and go at it. Oh, and you can keep that irritation at bay by just focusing on a very light touches. You can vary your angle sometimes to try to find, oh, there we go. Try to find the optimal angle. And now I've got a very nice close shave right there. So that's very interesting. I haven't had too many razors to be that way with that old blade, to be so comfortable that they're ineffective. Usually they're getting too rough. Must just be the geometry of the top cap versus the safety bar, that kind of thing. All right, I'm going to clean up my stuff. All right, this is what this guy looks like after a towel stropping. After the shave, you're sometimes not going to see some of the split tips after the shave because the wetness will kind of cause them to clump together in the fiber on the bristle, but they will start to separate once it starts to dry out and stuff. And just to have it out there, I'm wondering, after talking with a friend online about his experiences with certain bore brushes, and I had the same bore brush, and he's a face latherer, and so he works that brush on his rough face a lot more than I work the tips. I work the brush in a bowl, which is still, even if it has ridges and stuff, it's still softer than the experience on his face. And so his tips are splitting much more quickly than mine are with some of the exact same brushes. And it's happening enough to make me think that it's not just a batch issue, but that perhaps the wet dry cycles isn't splitting the tips quite as much as giving the tips a good workout during the shave. And if you have a shave that gives them more of a workout, then that might cause them to split quicker. But I don't think either way is wrong. One way is just slower than the other. The slower way, especially when it comes to things splitting, I'm guessing that's if it goes slower, then that's maybe going to cause it to split in the most stable way, might be a good guess. But his are still, I'm sure you're just using it, And so my advice in the past about maybe use a bore every other day to help it accelerate in its break-in, to have that wet dry cycle happen, that may not be the best advice. I'm starting to reconsider that. I'm gonna have to put that as a question mark advice. It may just be use it every day. That may be the best way too. Whichever way you feel like doing, try it out and see. And maybe face lathering could put a little bit more stress on the tips of the bristles, which could cause them to split quicker. So, all right. Man, I like this scent a lot, and I was just really impressed by the lather today. Man, it was so elastic. It did tend, when it was thin on my face, to dry out just a little bit, but I'm cool with that. See, I don't think this guy has as many of the moisturizers and things that the newer bases do. I like this guy. Scent, performance, I am a fan. Cool. All right, well, we won't revisit with the Nacet, the single ring from Gillette, the vintage razor. We'll leave that one alone and try something else next time, but it's always good to know that I've got my little round pin, flat bottom, Gillette new to come in and save the day. I'm going to open it up, get some space there between, shoot some water in there, give it a good shake, and put it up for storage. I might use the same razor tomorrow, so I'll just leave the blade in the razor and put it out of the reach of the kids. All right, I'm going to clean up. Also, I'm going to look for something to put on my face after the shave. I think maybe Easy Street. I think that might be a tea or something like that. And it's Chiseled Face, same folks who make Tiki bar. This does have a little bit of menthol. And so we'll just have a see if it is a little too strong for me. I can't remember. Now, I basically did 5 passes on my neck, 4 passes on my cheeks. I get barely any stinging at all. Yeah, there's some citrus there. Maybe some tea. It's pretty cool. So we use 6 teaspoons of water to do this shave and 45 seconds of loading in the soap with a young boar brush, which probably picked up a good bit of soap. Well, the menthol is doing something strong to my eyes as I'm packing things up and stuff. I think I need to relegate this scent to one that I put on maybe an hour after the shave where my skin has a chance to kind of recover. Probably best for my skin. Or I can temper it a little bit with some witch hazel. And this Chiseled Face stuff actually has some good skin goodies. So it's not purely menthol, alcohol, and fragrance. All right, there we go. That might help my skin to calm down a little bit. But I'm happy with the shave. It looks good. There we go. Single ring was fun to use. Turned out to be just a little bit too ineffective with this blade. Brush felt very good. This is one of the brushes. The Semogue Owners Club Boar is one that when you use it a lot, this bloom just opens up big time for a lot of people. I've seen plenty of images online with people that have used theirs for a good long while, and it just has a big bloom. So if you like that, that's a good one for you. And it's made with a special grade of hair from Semogue. The premium grade is one of their top grades, and that's what the 830 uses and the 1305. But then they made a special grade for the Semogue Owners Club as well. And so it's just got some different characteristics. I think it seems to have a little bit more backbone than the premium. But it sprays nicely, and it's soft and enjoyable even now, and it's just going to get even better. The splay may get so big that I decide to put on an O-ring or two. We'll just have to see. All right, well, another 227 now is down for the Nacet. How about that? That is just crazy, and I'm kind of feeling like once I hit 230, I'm just going to keep marching on to 240. It's kind of the feeling. I'm having fun. I've got a list now of all the razors I've tried and the ones I haven't. I think I'm gonna have fun playing around with that. All right, now unfortunately the bending of the blade did trip me up just a little bit, but I'm not feeling it too much during the course of the shave. So I think we'll be able to march on. All right, well, I've got everything cleaned up. The menthol is still very active on my face. I think maybe I'll have to move this aftershave out to where I'm Not going to be grabbing it right after a shave. All right, well, there we go. If I was a morning shaver, it might be different. I might like the pep that it kind of gives you. Anyway, hey, you guys, thanks for watching. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and I hope there's something on this video that helps you out. Take care. Stay safe out there with the virus going around. Be smart. Do what you need to do. Wash your hands a lot. Love your kids. Love your family. Love your friends. Good night.